I welcome you to the Hotep Initiative. The purpose of the Hotep Initiative is for the promotion of Hotepism among all people. Hotepism is the proper way for being. Hotepism is an ancient terminology stemming from Kemet, which you may know as ancient Egypt. Hotep means to be at peace. The only way to attain Hotepism is you must align your soul, heart, body, and mind with the immense goddess. The immense goddess has many forms. She has many incarnations. She is not known by merely one name. Some people call the immense goddess Mother Earth. In Kemet, she was known by a number of names: Mot, Sekhmet, Aset. In ancient Sumer, Inanna, Ishtar. The list goes on. I myself am a devotee of the Hindu goddess Kali, goddess of immense destruction. The immense goddess Kali, she is a goddess of immense destruction because she destroys that which is impure within your heart, body, mind, and soul. Kali is the goddess who appoints you. Kali is the immense goddess who anoints you with enlightenment when you achieve sublime illumination. She purifies that which is impure in the heart so that you may rise into the mind chakra, so that you may access the 1,000-petal lotus that awaits you beyond the temple doors of Kunlun. Hotepism is not reserved for one people, it is not reserved for one tribe, it is not reserved for one clan. Hotepism is the proper way for being for all people. There are many false histories, there are many falsehoods, there are many false illusions in this world. The reality is, we are all but one species. A black person, a white person, Latinx, Asian, Native Indigenous. We are all in agreement that we are not individual species. There is no fundamental difference between us akin to that of a dolphin versus a killer whale, or a shark versus a fish, or a tiger versus a lion. We are all in agreement that we are all human beings, regardless of race or creed. That being said, if you follow the family tree of humanity back to its origin, back through the roots of time, to the seed of creation, at the dawn of existence, we can only be but one people. We can only stem but from one soul tribe. There was an original civilization upon this planet, predating Kemet, what you may know as ancient Egypt. But in the underground village, we know ancient Egypt to be Kemet, the crown jewel apex of civilization at the fall of the original civilization of mankind. Prior to Kemet, prior to ancient Greece, prior to ancient Rome, prior to the Dark Ages, prior to the Renaissance of Europe and the conquest of the indigenous world, prior to all of those historical inaccuracies in the prehistoric world. And when I say prehistoric, I do not mean dinosaurs. I mean prehistory, before the falsifying of history. Some people say his story. But who is him? The original civilization of mankind. It is the civilization from which all of our ancestors hail from. We are all descendants of it. I call this civilization Kush. That does not mean that they themselves called their civilization Kush. It does not mean that you should adopt my ideology or etymology that the original civilization was Kush. I only implore that you come to terms with what I perceive to be an undeniable fact, that we all stem from one initial human civilization on this planet. If we're all but one species, there is no way that that is not true. I urge you to explain how it could not be true, if that is possible. This original civilization of Kush it was a world empire of many tribes and many clans. Today, we would say nations, many nations. The native indigenous of the Americas belong to this original world empire of Kush. I refer to these original people as Kushites merely because of my own interpretation of the original civilization of mankind. In the falsified histories, they say that there was a kingdom called Kush, spelled with a K. And that kingdom was a part of ancient Egypt, Kemet. Through a book called Wonderful Ethiopians of the Kushite Empire, authored by Drusilla D. Houston in 1926, I discovered the reality, at least through my own perception, that the original civilization of mankind was in fact the Kushites of Old Kush. And that the Kushites of Old Kush are the ones who built Kemet. Now, initially, I merely thought, well, these are my prehistoric African ancestors, the Kushites, because I am half black. My ideology has evolved and grown to a more comprehensive understanding. I now understand that all human beings are melanated beings, not merely those of us among you who you would refer to as black or of African descent. All human beings are melanated beings because we all have pineal glands in our brain. The pineal gland gives you access to the dark matter energy network that governs all of creation. Most of the universe is made out of dark matter. Even the physicists of the academia have drawn that conclusion. They say they don't know what dark matter is. I don't believe them. And if they don't, okay. Melanin is concentrated dark matter. It's represented by 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. It's also known as the Dracula particle. This was defined by the master of the occult, Bobby Hemmett, during his thousands of lectures, thousands and thousands of hours of lectures, documented, recorded footage, touring the country, breaking down lost esoteric mysticism of the occult, hidden sciences of our lost civilizations, drawing connections between our many tribes and clans. Concentrated dark matter makes up all of existence. Everything, every molecular structure you see within your perceived reality is made of concentrated dark matter or a variation of it. It accounts for most, if not all, of the known universe and all multiverses within the dimensional planes of our own realities. We have melanin in our skin. It determines our pigmentation. The darker your skin tone, the more melanin you possess, the more access, not necessarily the more access, but the more easily you can access the concentrated dark matter energy grid. For this reason, people of African descent and people that you would say are quote unquote members of the black race have been oppressed to a severe degree because of this access to the concentrated dark matter energy grid. However, as I have stated, all human beings are melanated beings because we all have pineal glands. Racism is not merely the hatred of one individual against another individual because of their race or against an entire race. Racism is the illusion that race exists. There is no such thing as race. We have been divided into different ethnic groups to divide our tribes from the original one world civilization of Old Kush. There is a lost empire that exists between all of us, buried under the rubble of our fallen nations, entombed in the crypts of the underground village that is everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. The underground village is the universal village of all tribes and all clans. We all belong to it. You can go to the underground village anywhere. It is everywhere that you are. The underground village is your connection to your roots, to your ancestors, to the lost world of Old Kush, our original civilization. The original people, the native indigenous of the Americas, belong to the world of Old Kush, as do the Aborigines of Australia. The people of prehistoric Africa, prehistoric Asia, we all belong to Old Kush. Even prehistoric Europe, we all belong to Old Kush. It is a one world civilization that exists between us of many tribes and many clans. I am not asking you to adopt a doctrine or a dogma that does not suit your own terms of agreement. I am merely inviting you to join a one world civilization. The restoration of Old Kush. This is the purpose of the Hotep Initiative. The Hotep Initiative is to unify all peoples, all colonized peoples fighting in the struggle. The struggle of the native indigenous is my struggle because they are my people. The struggle of the Latinx is my struggle because they are my people. The struggle of the Asian man and woman is my struggle because they are my people. All people are my people. Your struggle is my struggle because you are my people. And I will fight on your behalf if you cannot fight for yourself. I will carry you on my back if you cannot climb to the mountaintop. I might not make it there with you, but I've seen the promised land, and it's a place we can go. I invite you to join me on this quest to Old Kush. If you would like to join the Hotep Initiative, subscribe to this channel, Total Shock Fiction. Feel free to comment any contact info if you would like to be contacted with further information. The Hotep Initiative is in its earliest stages. I currently do not have the resources to build an organization. However, I have the only necessary resource that I need, the fundamental resource of my own mind. I have liberated myself from the falsehoods of the false identity matrix, and I have returned to Old Kush. My mission now is to bring as many as I can out of Babylon and into the promised land of Kunlun, Old Kush, the original civilization of mankind, the civilization of our applicable ancestors from which we all descend. We are but one people among many tribes and clans. I invite you to join the Hotep Initiative. more information will be provided soon.